Good morning and welcome back to the podcast. It is Friday, the Evil Dungeon Master Universe podcast. It's a Friday edition of the podcast. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you have a great weekend planned. Spending time with the family, maybe some gaming. I don't know. I got a game tomorrow. We'll be playing our first episode of Starfinder with my group to see how that goes. Just different change of events. Little sci-fi ship action going with some interesting characters going on. So I'm looking forward to see how that goes. We'll play that for a little while and then probably go back to some other game. I'm not sure. Anyway, theevildm.com is my website. Go there for all the things that are happening. We have a live stream for our members of the YouTube channel, for the ones that joined the YouTube channel tonight at around 5 o'clock Central Time. So if you're a member and you can make it, be appreciated because we're going to go over a few things and ask for your opinion on different things for the channel, because that's members who joined monthly get a chance to voice their opinion of how the channel goes forward, and Jeff and I want to see what you have to say. If you miss it, no worries, because then it'll be up for members going forward, and you can watch it anytime. And again, it's exclusive to members only. With that said, let's talk about today's topic. And I give full credit to this topic to Memes Lich, D&D Memes, and you can find him on x.com at Memes Lich. So it's at Memes Lich, all one word. He put in, is it fair for Dungeons & Dragons DMs to change their player alignment based on actions? That's today's topic, changing the alignment based on player action. It's a interesting thing to do, because at DM, it's basically up to you as the DM to interpret what the characters are doing. Now, generally, when a game starts, it is assumed that when a player makes his character, that when they choose their alignment, the morals of the character have been in place since they were born and formed up until the point that they went out adventuring. So they are used to being, let's say, chaotic good, neutral good, lawful good. So at first level, it's not really a good idea to change an alignment right away. I personally think it takes a little while and maybe a level or two before you decide as a DM, based on how the player is playing the character, to change an alignment. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe the player doesn't have a good idea or a grasp on how the alignment actually works. And you may have to talk to them as the DM to a player on the side. There's nothing you should do in the game. It's on the side. Talk to them. Be like, listen, your character is chaotic good and you are doing a lot of evil-based things. If you continue on this path, your alignment will probably be shifted down. And you can keep continuing, you will be shifted over to evil completely. Now, you give the player a chance to maybe talk to you about it and state the reasons why they're playing their character a certain way, because there could be a reason. Everybody has an off period with their character. Maybe their character is going through something at the time, and that's why their alignment is this, but maybe they lost someone, so it made them really angry. It doesn't make them evil because they lost someone and they're angry or something. It's just the way their current outlook is and need something to snap out of it to get back to where they were. A lot of games don't really have mechanics in it for changing alignment, other than saying it's interpreted by the DM or the GM of the game. When a player is going off alignment, what happens? Certain classes in Dungeons & Dragons, older editions at least, have penalties involved if you change your alignment, especially if you are a cleric and you are worshiping a deity that is a good aligned one. You're doing evil acts. So, yeah, the deity is... I know people argue that you're just one small person, and why is a deity going to focus on you out of the thousands or millions of followers he has? Well, that's just how it works, because when you are a cleric or a priest or whatever you want to call it for whatever edition, you are granted magical abilities by your deity. And if you go against them, and when you're communing with them, the deity will, quote unquote, realize this and cut you off. Now, it might be a warning. Maybe the DM can do a whole scene while you're sleeping, with the deity comes to the character in the dream and tells them that he's disappointed, and to make up for this, you must do this or that. Otherwise, I will discontinue allowing you to commune with me and be my worshiper. I don't want you under my hood or whatever umbrella. Those are some things. Paladins in the older editions, if you obviously cross the line of being lawful good into something evil act wise, you'll be cut off. I don't penalize paladins when it comes to making evil acts if they were tricked into it because they thought something was evil and they went after it and they committed an evil act. Now, those things can be let go because the character is just following or what it was being tricked into doing. Now, I've seen some DMs just absolutely be like, that's an evil act, you're done. I don't think that's fair, especially when characters do evil acts. I've seen DMs, just regular characters, like, you're acting evil, I'm shifting your alignment to evil. It's just, no. Talk to a character first and let them know. Because referencing AD&D 1E, they have it on page 25 of the DMG, at least the one with the Dungeon Master, the second edition, the reprint cover or the revised cover with the Dungeon Master through the door is my favorite cover edition. I love that one. So it tells you that, let's see here, halfway down, character of alignment will have adverse effects on any class of the character if she is above the second level. So, like I was saying, you shouldn't really worry about it at first level. When it becomes to a higher level, then it's be something that you can talk about with the character, with the player, and change it. Immediately upon an alignment change actually occurring, the character concerned will lose one level of experience, dropping experience points to take him or her to the very beginning of the next lower level. Losing hit die and or hit points and all abilities which accrued to him or her with the lost level. If the alignment change is involuntary, such as that caused by a powerful magic or a curse, then the character can retain all the losses upon returning to his or her former alignment as soon as possible, and after making atonement through a cleric of the same alignment. And sacrificing treasure, which has a value of not less than 10,000 gold pieces per level of experience of the character. The sacrificial amount is a variable, so use your best judgment as to the total and what and where it should go. Magic items to build up the NPC cleric money. Magic items to build up the NPC cleric money out of the campaign. Magic items out of the campaign, etc., can be used. Similarity, such as atonement and sacrifice, can be accomplished by a quest. Note that in all likelihood, the character will desire to retain the new alignment, and it is incumbent upon you as the DM to ensure that the player acts accordingly. So there's different ways you can handle that, and it goes on and on and on and on. But basically, that is the penalty for losing your alignment or acting out of alignment. Is that harsh? Yeah, I think it's a little bit harsh, all that information, and I don't think I've ever actually done that unless it was a paladin who was going completely against his alignment and I had to actually drop them out of it. But I would think of all the years of playing games, I can't remember an instance where I actually had to do it. Though I did talk to one player in Palladium Fantasy recently where they weren't really playing against the alignment, and it was actually because there was a misunderstanding on what alignment he actually was. He thought he was a different alignment, and he was not. So we just discussed it on the side, and we changed his alignment to what it should be without penalty, without worry, because it was a misunderstanding. And everybody has, misunderstandings. Sometimes they read the rules the wrong way, or they write the wrong thing down and not realize it. So, again, we're all here to have a fun time when we play all role-playing games, and I don't want to sit there and ruin a fun time for a player because, they misread something. Now, if they're just like, yeah, I know it's, a lawful good character, but I don't give a crap. It's just like, okay, you can give a crap now. You're, chaotic evil. I'll put you all the way down there. But yeah, your paladin becomes the anti-paladin. So there's a lot of things you could do. Hopefully, it's just discussing it with the player beforehand and moving forward with the group and agreeing on things. I like to give a lot of leeway when it comes to alignments because the only game that I've ever seen that really spells out alignments really good with examples is Palladium. Palladium has a good set of alignments with examples, and they have it sums up really well so that you get an idea of it better than just the little small paragraphs and leave it up to interpretation. There's a lot more of a rule set around it. But I do like to give some leeway when it comes to alignments because everybody plays differently, understands things differently, and we're all here to play a game. One alignment I just don't allow in my games because I can't really understand how people can play it. True neutral. Unless you're playing a robot, no one can really be true neutral, to be honest. And even Palladium says it in there. There's no such thing as someone being true neutral. That's basically impossible to play true neutral straight across the line like that. So, I always thought Dungeons and Dragons should get rid of the true neutral thing. And I don't usually allow players to play that alignment because no one really knows how to play it anyway. And that's my game. If you don't like it, you don't play in my game. That's all. You just tell me, the hell with you. I'm leaving this game. And I'm perfectly fine with that because we're all adults and that's what we do. We just say, all right, bye, if we don't have an agreement. We don't sit there and argue and pick at each other over stupid stuff. There are some games that don't even have an alignment system in it. And I think the reason why it doesn't is because it's based on what you're playing. So like something like a D6 game, like D6 Fantasy or D6 Modern. I know it's an adventure, D6 Adventure, Mini 6, things like that. They don't have a lot of alignment systems in it in place because they assume that you're playing the hero or at least the good character. I don't think Call of Cthulhu has it as well. I'm not 100% on that one. Maybe it isn't, but I've never seen. Most people in Call of Cthulhu are more worried about going insane and losing their character to insanity than they're worrying about if they're an evil asshole or not, or a good person for that matter. So it really depends on the game you're playing. And I think Dungeons and Dragons was always the one that pushed on the alignment systems. Palladium has their alignment systems too, so I can't say that about all games. But generally, when you leave people unaligned or no alignment systems in certain games, they tend to sometimes go off the rails. I mean, I guess it really depends on your player. When we were playing Star Wars First Edition, we had played a sub game while we were taking a break from the main game because some of the players couldn't make it. So we had a small game inside with a bunch of different characters in a different universe, and the GM decided, all the restraints are off. You could do whatever you want. I mean, we were non-force characters. We were all just rogue type like characters. So we went pretty much nut crazy evil just to see how far we can push it, and he didn't care. So we were like pretty much terrorists, but we were good terrorists in a sense because we were fighting against the oppressive empire. So I don't know. It became a little weird, so we put a kibosh on that and moved away from that game because it became too evil at the point that we're just like, let's stay away from that. I don't know. How are your experiences with that, folks out there? Let me know in the comments below. I'm interested to see what you have to say about alignment changes and alignments in your game and how much you stick to the alignments in your game. Quite interested in that. So let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, comment. Don't forget to share the video and rate the videos, again, with a like. And if you're on Spotify, go ahead and click the 5-star review as well as Apple. And, oh, yeah, that's right. Spotify has comments as well. So if you're listening on Spotify, you can go on the app. I believe you can, on the show, you can click on it, more details, and it has a little comment section, which gives comments to me. And I think the public can see them too. But yeah, it gives comments. So definitely go there and check that out. I'm going to head out. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night. God bless. And don't forget, there is no drama, no clickbait, all gaming on this channel. Good night.